Good morning, everybody. Jeff Lesh here again with you. Today we're going to look at creating emotional intelligence. And so let's just take a look really quick at the definition, and then I'm going to give you a different way to think about it, but they're very much interrelated. The capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. And so there you go. That's the definition. However, what I want to do with you today is just give you a really practical way to think about emotional intelligence, okay? And so let's take a look at what I've drawn here. So there we are. There's us. I'm not an artist. You can see this, yes? Good. All right, and so what happens with us? So we have thoughts that occur, yes? And so they come and they go, and they come and they go. And we are aware of some of them, and we are unaware of some of them. And so we are a stimulus response system, and I write about that in this article, and I've written about it in other articles, and that is to say that so we have stimuli that comes at us, and then we respond or react. We have thoughts that come, and then we react. And so it's inside of that process of stimulus response that emotional intelligence can be created. So here's a very simple example. You have a thought, and then you're going to take an action. So 1, 2, and there might be feeling, well, there's always going to be a feeling in there too. So there'd be a thought, a feeling, and then an action. And when you start to understand how your mind works and you understand that thought, feeling, action, or response, stimulus, response, you start to recognize that that there's a possibility of slowing down that process so that you create a space in between those things that you can sit and reflect upon that action that you're going to take. And that essentially is emotional intelligence. It's being aware of our mind, it's being aware of how we feel, and then it's being aware of the thoughts we have and how they correlate to the actions we really want to take. Because if you simply have thoughts all the time, right? Well, we all do. They just come. And then you act on all of those, you may be taking actions that aren't really in your best interest. And so there is a possibility of slowing that down so that you can then, being aware of it's the first important thing, is to be aware of it and how it occurs. And then next you can start to watch that as it comes. The thought comes, you have a feeling more than likely, and then there's an action. Sometimes it's so fast you wouldn't even know it. Thought, action. But it is possible to be aware of those thoughts, to slow down and just not take that action right away, right? To sit with that for a minute and then contemplate it and reflect upon it and then choose an action. Because what happens is inside of the thought and action or the stimulus response, inside of the space of emotional intelligence is called choice. And it is now your choice because you've slowed down. You can say, oh, I'm going to choose to do B versus A, when maybe previously you would have just done A. All right, so that's a little on emotional intelligence today. Again, you can check out the blog to read a little bit more about it. And that's it for today. So everybody have a wonderful week. Stay healthy and well, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.